applications and varieties in your trial?
धेरै ठुलो एरिया छ हैन, धेरै एप्लिकेसन छन् भने यो स्प्रेडर मल छर्ने मेसिन हामीले प्रयोग गर्न सक्छौँ।
So
मल हो है अहिलेलाई।
I worked out the area of my trial and how much fertilizer I need. So my trial starts from here and goes down to that rock, okay?
As a professional plant breeder, Anthony Leddin loves digging into the secret life of plants and harvesting ways to overcome world hunger. For the past 20 years, he has been on a quest to help feed the world by developing sustainable, nutritious crops for both humans and livestock. At the root of his work lies a simple philosophy. Give a person vegetable seeds, feed them for a year. Give them fruit trees, feed them for many years. But give them knowledge to breed plants and feed them for a lifetime. It's a quest that must outrun the ticking clock of climate change and a rapidly growing world population. As Anthony says, by 2050, less than 30 years away, the world's population is going to reach about 10 billion people. We have to increase our food production from current levels by another 70%. On top of what we already produce, that's massive amounts of food, he says. Adding to the urgency is a shortage of expert plant breeders, with more people retiring from the field than joining it. In fact, after finishing Year 12 at Emmanuel, Anthony was one of only 5 students studying plant breeding at Melbourne University. He had originally planned to study veterinary science until, he jokes, he found he wasn't smart enough. Anthony, who was raised on a farm in Yambuk, switched to agricultural science degree and found that plants were his real passion. He now moves between life as an agronomist or crop scientist in Australia and volunteer worker as a plant breeding expert in developing countries. His volunteer work began with a UN project in India, where, supported by the Canberra-based Crawford Fund, he helped develop sorghum and millet crops. This experience planted the seed in Anthony's mind for a project called Plant Breeders Without Borders, based on Doctors Without Borders, where plant experts volunteer alongside local groups and farmers. The team works to boost crop yield by working with familiar plants or by exploring different ones, such as the bamboo groundnut, a drought-tolerant nut that Anthony believes has untapped potential as a food source. Through patience and persistence, this global tree of life has been growing steadily for the past 20 years and slowly changing communities, one plant at a time. In that time, Anthony has worked on crop projects around the world, including Ethiopia, Vietnam, Nepal, Indonesia, and East Timor, and on seed collection in Israel, Turkey, and Spain, securing what funds he could to help cover the costs. A major breakthrough came during a conference in Beijing in 2016, where pharmaceutical giant Bayer was so impressed by Anthony's vision, it agreed to fund several projects. These included Indonesia and Nepal, and next year, Ecuador, Ghana, Tanzania, and Fiji. Given the global reach of Anthony's work, it's not surprising he's been described as the Indiana Jones of the plant world, scouring the planet with tweezers in hand, searching for endangered, edible plants and collecting their seeds. Back home, however, Anthony is an equally rare breed. He is the only professional pasture breeder in Australia, working in the private sector for the pasture seed industry. In his job with Valley Seeds, Anthony researches drought-tolerant feed for cattle, dairy, and sheep. Whether he is working in Australia or Africa, however, the goal is the same: food security. Food security, as Anthony explains, not only prevents famine, but civil unrest, war, and people being forced to become refugees. As Anthony says, when I started plant breeding, I only thought about the food aspect. But then you start thinking about the ethical side of things. You start thinking about how, if people can't feed themselves, what's going to happen? Anthony's work is part of making sure this question never needs to be answered.
great to be back at Emmanuel. I started life here at CBC and then changed into Emmanuel in Year 9. So thanks for the award. It's for me, I don't do what I do for recognition or awards or I really, I'd feel more comfortable sitting out there with you at the moment in the crowd, recognising the other people. But for me, school was really important. And when I was contacted by Candice about the award, I thought it was really important that I come along and talk about how important education is for setting up your life and finding out what you're really here for. So Emmanuel College was really important to me. I had a lot of mentors and that there as my time at school here. People like Brother Wright. He was a great mentor for me, and he was like a moral compass for me that led me down this path, I suppose, of being more interested in the overseas development work and the importance of that for people who don't have what we have here, all the things of that life comes easy for us, I suppose. I went to school and had a great education, but they don't have access to those sorts of things in the places that I go to. So I really wanted to emphasise the importance of that for students today, how important your education is. And life, I guess for me, it's a great mystery, I suppose. You go out there in life and you have to work out what you're really sent here to do. And with the education basis that I got from Emmanuel College, I was lucky enough to find a passion in plant breeding. And that's what's led me down to the path of creating an NGO like Plant Breeders Without Borders, is I'm really passionate about it. So for kids that go to school here, I say to you, really focus on your education, and it's important that you sacrifice yourself for your education. You do whatever you can to hopefully one day that will make you realise what you're sent here to do in life and find out that mystery. So thank you very much for Emmanuel College for giving me this award, and I hope the adventures that I've had and the opportunities that I've had with the work that I've done, going and working in developing countries and seeing a lot of the world, that's special for me. But we all have our special jobs that we have to do here. Everyone in society is important. You don't have to travel overseas to do special things. We all have our special roles here. So thanks to my family, my mum and dad, my teachers, and that got me here. And all I can say is, in the future, for you kids, try and sacrifice yourself so that you can get to those goals of what you were really meant to do in your life. So thanks very much, Emmanuel College, for the award. Very appreciated.